And that somehow said to me that I could do it, and that's how it began.
And then spying became the center of your works. And is it a metaphor for modern life?
By the time I entered the secret world, foreign services, diplomacy, and those things were really like cover organizations for a huge industry of espionage and counter-espionage. It was the battlefield of the Cold War. So I was incredibly lucky to be, as a very, very small worm, to have a worm's eye view of that kind of secret conflict that was running at that time. And yes, of course, it's a metaphor for everything in life. It's about ordinary people, but more so. It's about every one of us, about the relationship we have to our countries. It's about self-identity. It's about our insecurities, that we are, in some ways, the weaker we are, the less we are anchored, the less we are identified to ourselves, the more exciting is the condition of secrecy. And so I never thought there was a limit to the spy story. I thought, for me, yes, it was a metaphor. It was the stage on which I could set any drama. This whole area was a cow stall, barn. We came here about 30 years ago, 40 years ago, I think, originally, and just tried to turn it into a writing place. I write anywhere if I have to, on the aeroplane or in the hotel, but this is where my spirit's at home, my writing, where I feel most comfortable to write. And I don't know if you can see that we're on the Cornish coastal footpath, so any afternoon Jane, my wife, will drop me a couple of hours walk away, and I'll come back over the cliff, and there's nothing here. It's unpopulated, and I can populate the hills with my own characters and my imagination.
You decided from the beginning to write only spy stories?
It came naturally to me. I mean, under the rule of write what you know about, this was something I did know about. Also, the craft of writing, the technique of self-expression, the disciplines of accuracy, of observation, were all given to me by the secret life. In writing a report, an intelligence report, which may arrive on the desk of the cabinet, you learn to be extremely precise. You learn to watch every word and discover its meaning. You learn to be short, because politicians and diplomats have a short attention span. They want it to be on a postcard. You learn to go to the essence. And once you have the mentality of secrecy, when you enter society, you behave like a spy, even as a writer. It's your spectacles, your shoes, your glances, your language, and instinctively one steals and reports. So the performance, the exercise of the writer's profession is also very close to that of the spy.
You have put the moral theme in the center of your works. I mean,
yes.
Till then, it was not so strong.
Certainly in my part of the intelligence community in those days, I mean, I wrote my first 3 books when I was still in harness to that world. In my part of that community, we regarded ourselves as moralists for 2 reasons. Firstly, we were priests of the absolute truth. it did not matter what the preconceptions of politicians were, what the demands of politicians were, or of the Whitehall customers, the different ministries, the Ministry of Air, the Ministry of the Admiralty, the Ministry of War. We told them the truth as we read it and saw it and heard it. And they could take it or leave it. But our job was to deliver the absolute truth. Now that is a moral purpose in itself. It's one that dignifies the profession of journalist, or at its best. It's certainly, it was not anything corrupt, quite the reverse. The second reason that made us feel good was that we did the dirty work that enabled people to sleep in their beds at night. We were the guys who went into the sewers when the drains weren't working, and we came out stinking and covered with mud. And we did that, we felt, for the balance of decent society. And when we caught one another's spies, we did deals. And so there were we played it. Even if we didn't know we were playing it, we played a game according to the rules. In this present situation, it is much, much dirtier. I don't know that I would have survived in the present world. You cannot have clean hands, even in your own mind. Now we are reaching the point, as the British did in Ireland, where in order to have an informant, you must allow him to kill. He must be able to authenticate himself by taking part, conspiring in acts of horrible, or preparing to. He must perhaps be an agent provocateur who's actually saying, let's all get together and blow this place up. And so it is a far dirtier game than it's not so cerebral, not so intellectual perhaps. It's certainly not as refined. And I don't know whether I would ever have been equipped for it.
Ready?
Mm-hmm. What do you think spies are? Priests, saints, martyrs? They're a squalid procession of vain fools, traitors too, yes. Pansies, sadists and drunkards, people who play cowboys and Indians to brighten their rotten lives. Do you think they sit like monks in London, balancing the rights and wrongs? I'd have killed Munt if I could. I hate his guts. But not now. It so happens that they need him. They need him so that the great moronic mass that you admire can sleep soundly in their beds at night. They need him for the safety of ordinary, crummy people like you and me.
Which is the rule for a good spy novel?
I think it's the same for any kind of storytelling. Ford Madox Ford said that you've got to tell a story to somebody the other side of the fire and keep him in his chair. So the rule surely is you must create tension, and it must be of two kinds. It must be tension inside the individual and a tension which provides jeopardy, which puts him under threat. Alfred Hitchcock was asked, Mr. Hitchcock, how long can you hold a kiss on the screen? Answer, 20 minutes. He said, Mr. Hitchcock, that's a hell of a long kiss. Answer, first of all, I put a bomb under the bed. We have to put a bomb under the bed if we're writing like that. The cat sat on the mat is not a story. The cat sat on the dog's mat is the beginning of a story. So you ask what the basic ingredients are. They are, for me, to catch the reader's eye and his heart, his concern, to take him through the story so that he won't get out of his chair. And in my own case, to use the spy story as a microcosm that illustrates his own, to make him feel not like James Bond, wow, this could be me, but to make him feel, oh Christ, this really could be me.
Usually you have not happy ends.
No, but they're resolutions. Then I would like to think that the premise and the motivations of the characters